Welcome to Football Conspiracies.
I'm Jared Rabinovich.
And I'm Jared Cole.
This week's episode, Draft Day Conspiracies.
All right, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, oh my god, no awkward intro this time.
Hey Jared, do you have any banter to bring for us this week?
Oh my god, now I understand how being put on the spot like this is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, that's pretty rude of me, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, so I actually have stuff.
You have the banter.
I always have banter. Did you know that if your name is Mike Sullivan, you don't want to be a coach in Pittsburgh?
Explain.
Well, at least you didn't want to be a coach in Pittsburgh on April 28th. Pittsburgh Penguins parted ways with their longtime head coach, Mike Sullivan, in the morning, okay?
Sure.
Later that afternoon, the Steelers also fired their co-offensive coordinator, Mike Sullivan.
On the same day?
On the same day.
That is brutal.
Yeah, so you do not want to be named Mike Sullivan working for a Pittsburgh-based professional sports franchise.
It's crazy that there's like as many guys named Mike Sullivan in Pittsburgh sports than there are Bobs playing sports in the entire world.
Yeah.
Thank you to John Boyce for his analysis of Bobs in sports.
Yeah, so yeah, you don't want to be named Mike Sullivan in Pittsburgh. That's our friendly banter.
Not too friendly to anyone named Mike Sullivan.
Oh, I also have one more banter thing because I really wanted to bring this up last episode, but I forgot, and now we're here, so now I can. This was posted on NFL Reddit by /Can't Watch Scott's Tots. Neither can I, bro.
Yeah, exactly. No, honestly, that's the most relatable name.
This is all I have. This is the quote. Mike Leach was talked down from lining up a little person in the backfield and then throwing them over the line of scrimmage in short yardage situations. Other than optics of doing this, why wouldn't this be allowed? And logistically, shouldn't it work?
Okay, first of all, yes, like optically it's horrible, but yeah, like I guess it would be allowed. I'm thinking that's like this is somewhere between genius and absolutely insane. Did he like watch Wolf of Wall Street and was like, I got a fucking idea? Like,
I don't know, but why shouldn't it work? Other than optics. Literally, other than optics.
I guess it would work.
Every NFL team should be employing a little person.
Who was this who got talked down?
Mike Leach.
That's insane. I cannot believe that they talked him down from this. That would have been the craziest football experience of my life. Imagine that's how they lined up one day.
Yeah, so he coached Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Man,
yeah,
we like he could be the biggest genius in football history.
Well, I mean, he never implemented it, and no one else has implemented it. So,
well, I mean, wasn't there that time that someone, a baseball coach, had a little person come out to bat in a baseball game just to mess up the strike zone?
Well, not really. They have like you can crouch down and like make your strike zone smaller.
You can't do that for real.
Because technically there's like proportions to a strike zone. I'm not an umpire.
Okay, yeah, this is a football fucking podcast.
This is what we're talking about, okay? But yeah, so little person. Mike Leach.
That's some good banter. I'll give you that. You brought some good content today.
Yes. Okay. Now for our real draft day conspiracy episode. Jared, do you want the truth? Something that has fully fledged out. Punishments have already been given out. This is not a conspiracy. Or do you want like the this is fucking bullshit conspiracy, but you know, maybe it's true.
Well, I want the bullshit conspiracy.
No, well, you get both, but which one do you want first?
Bullshit conspiracy.
Okay, the bullshit conspiracy. Everyone knows the main headline of this entire draft day.
Shedeur
Sanders. He did not go in the first round, and that was intentional. Roger Goodell told every single one of the NFL teams not to draft Shedeur in the first round so that they would have the most watched first round in draft history.
Yap.
I mean, you look at the numbers, it's true. It was the most watched in draft history, but
I suppose you could, but I feel like that could be said about so many things. Like, I don't know, like the Masters in 2019 were rigged to let Tiger Woods happen, so it was the most watched golf tournament of all time. You know, like, you'd say that about fucking anything.
I mean, I guess, but it is a little suspicious, seeing as though he was supposed to go in the first round. He was supposed to go top 5 overall.
Hear me out. Like, put yourself in random GM's position. You're like GM of the Steelers, and like Roger Goodell comes up to you and he goes, "Hey, you don't pick this star prospect in this upcoming draft because I want my draft day numbers to look good." Who gives a flying fuck about the draft day numbers?
Well, also,
it wasn't just CBS own fucking.
It wasn't just about draft numbers. It was also about getting feedback from fans, because it's a lot easier to get a lot of feedback when you have a lot of people watching versus when you get to round picks 30. Your audience is a lot lower, so you don't get as much feedback on the draft as a whole. So they wanted the extra feedback. That's why a couple days after they came out and said, next year we're going to be making a bunch of changes to the draft, because they got all this fan input from all the people who were forced to watch to see Shedeur not get drafted.
Okay, I'm understanding the motives here. Like, I'm not saying that doesn't make sense. It's just stupid as hell. Because you know what's going to happen next year when when all the people who are meant to be picked in the first round are picked in the first round? No one's going to watch the second. Like every other year. If they do this again next year, then we'll start talking about something fishy going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Another part of this bullshit thread, before we move on, is that someone on Twitter, Coach.Third, tweeted out saying the Browns went against the owner's code when they paid Deshaun. The league didn't forgive them. Their penance? Draft Shedeur and live with the fallout. They messed up the money, now they gotta clean it up. The league sent out a dog whistle that no one is to touch Shedeur except the Browns, since they do with they want.
Okay, first of all, that was like some incomprehensible English, but if I do understand, like, that's kind of just the mix between like the main conspiracies I've been hearing around this, at least, about how the owners came together to set an example about how you should and shouldn't act during a draft. Like, I don't know if you saw anything about that, but
yeah, we'll get into that more later about his character in those meetings.
Yes, because like when I guess, you know what, I'm skipping ahead to the true part.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, but just some more of the bullshit to get out of the way. There are people who think that everyone waited so late is so that they didn't have to pay him as much in his opening contract, because you sign a bonus based on when you're drafted, and he didn't need the money, so they decided that he didn't need to be drafted.
That is the biggest nothing burger I've ever heard. That one is like a -10 on the scale. Fuck that. Get her out of here.
Yeah. And finally, the last bit of this bullshit thread is Jared's favorite, because it is numerology.
Oh, yeah.
Shedeur Sanders was selected with the 144th pick in the NFL draft. Deion Sanders was born August 9th, 1967. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That means there are 144 days left in the year when Deion Sanders was born.
Oh, come on. Like, even, that one's even lame for me. Like,
Also, the Jesuit order equals 144.
Okay, now I'm convinced. No, I'm sold.
Yeah, so I know you love your numerology. I figured I had to add something with the 144.
I appreciate you adding it, but that made me even sadder about the theory than I was before.
Now, do you want the true conspiracy, or do we just want to end it here?
All right, that was this week's episode on. Come on.
All right. Now we have the real conspiracy, and this is the conspiracy about the prank call.
I definitely know this one.
All right, so for those who don't know, I'm about to tell you, because this prank call was blowing up when it happened because everyone was trying to figure out who was behind it. Now we know who was behind it, but you're going to have to listen to find out. So essentially, Shedeur Sanders not being drafted was a big deal. And he got a phone call from someone claiming to be New Orleans Saints. I think he said GM. Mm-hmm. We'll listen to the prank call in a second. And you can hear both sides of the story, both sides of the conversation, and it's absolutely awful. So the video and clip I'm about to play is a split screen of both sides of the prank call. So we have Shedeur Sanders thinking he's getting drafted by the Saints, and we have the guy who's prank calling him.
Hey, is this Shedeur? Hey, this is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're gonna take you as our next pick right here, man.
This ain't gonna be nothing to do.
Hey, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
What does that mean? What? What'd he say? I don't know. How you gonna ask us what it means and you was on the phone? You heard that? You said you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Why did he talk? What the fuck? That's I don't know what that was. It's 50-50. But nobody got this number though.
Wow, that is fucked up. I was like trying so hard not to say something in the middle of that video.
Yeah, it was a bad situation. So this is Shedeur Sanders being pranked by an Ole Miss student pretending to be the GM of the New Orleans Saints. So the big thing about this is that the kid went to Ole Miss. Okay, that's like the second this came out, everyone was like, who was behind this? Who was behind this?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if you caught this, at the very end of the clip, Shedeur says nobody has this number.
Yes, yeah.
So he got a phone specifically for the draft. The only people who had that phone number were the 32 NFL teams and nobody else.
So how the fuck did he get this number?
How did he get prank called? Who had that number? Exactly. That's what the initial what the fuck is going on. Okay? So the first tweet I saw about this was the fact the Giants GM's kid just happens to go to Ole Miss. And it just so happened to be an Ole Miss frat kid that somehow got Shedeur's number to prank call him.
Whoa.
So I saw that and I was like, holy fuck, like, did the Giants actually just do this? Turns out it was 1,000 times worse. Okay? Falcons defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich, his son was behind the prank call. His son found, quote unquote, found his dad's unlocked tablet, went in, got the number, wrote it down, went back to his friends who used that phone number to call and prank Shedeur.
That is nuts. Like, that's sociopathic in its detail.
Yeah, it was insane because he basically stole confidential NFL information.
That's like actually nuts.
Yeah, crazy.
I cannot believe that that's how that went down. Like, I knew the prank call and all that, but I have no idea that it played out in like an even worse way than it appeared on the surface.
Yeah, so apparently the Ulbriches and the Shedeurs have reconciled and made their peace. Jax Ulbrich is his name, the son who did the prank call, who got the phone number. He put out a post on Instagram apologizing, and he's apologized to Shedeur personally, so there's that. But the NFL had to take something into their own hands, you know? This is a big thing.
That's a big thing.
It's a massive leak. A leak of confidential
personal information. Yeah.
Personal information. So the Falcons were fined $250,000, and defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich was fined $100,000 for failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the team in advance of the NFL draft.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
sure.
$100,000. Well, I mean,
$100,000
$100,000
like, personally is a lot. Exactly. Like,
from,
250 to a team is nothing. $100,000 to a random guy, that's a lot.
Apparently, Ulbrich's 2025 salary post-tax was $800,000.
Oh,
that's
so,
literally
like,
an eighth of his salary.
Yeah, he can afford that. Okay.
Well,
yeah,
he can afford it, but I mean, an eighth of your salary is still it's
a
nothing.
lot of money for like your son breaking into your iPad, unless he gave it to the kid,
Yeah.
in which case like maybe that's fair.
I mean, he probably didn't.
Yeah.
Odds are he didn't. The Falcons aren't looking into it any further.
It's not like Shedeur was getting the money anyway. Like, it goes to the NFL.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like-
The NFL donates it. Yeah. So there was that. And so I saw some tweet. Some guy was like, no repercussions for Jax, who made the prank call here with the phone number.
What, you're going to arrest the kid for this? Like, it's a prank call.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, Jax is not an employee of the NFL. He has no contracts with the NFL.
what?
He has nothing to do with the NFL other than his dad.
You imagine the NFL just starts finding random people. That'd be so crazy.
Yeah, like forcing a kid to do volunteer work.
No, just start finding fans and shit. Like,
That would be, yeah. So anything that comes to Jax will be his dad, and I'm sure his dad will not be happy with what happened.
I am sure he won't be.
And I just have one more thing, because it turns out that there was another prank call on draft night.
No,
but
there wasn't.
But this one happened in the first round.
What?
Okay, so it turns out that Abdul Carter also got a prank call during the second pick, in which the caller said he was from the Jaguars and that they were going to select him with the number 2 overall pick.
Anything else?
No, that's. I have a quote here from Carter's agent that says, "It's unfortunate that these private numbers are getting to the people making the prank calls. Abdul and I knew it was BS and didn't even tell his family about the call. Moments later, Carter got the real call from the Giants, and the team selected him 3rd overall."
So, like, this one's way softer than the Shedeur one, obviously.
Way softer, but still, I mean, big solution here by an NFL fan. Don't call players before the selection. Let them watch the pick live or on TV. Get an awesome reaction on camera, and then have the teams call the player after to congratulate them.
Wait, that actually makes so much more sense. I don't know why we didn't all just think of that immediately. That's like the most... Yeah, you want some input for the fucking draft, Roger? There it is.
There it is, exactly. Yeah, so, I mean, it makes sense to me. Like, you get a way more genuine reaction.
Instead of just, like, smiling. Exactly.
Yeah, they're
like,
hugging
they
their family,
knew, yeah.
like, yeah. So, I don't know. That's, yeah.
No, that's a good solution to a problem I pretty much don't give a fuck about, to be honest. All right, everyone. Welcome to my segment of the podcast. Was that a good you impression?
Well, you gotta keep it going.
I guess you're right. I have to drag it out
you
for
gotta...
another... Where we talk about conspiracy things and stuff.
There you go.
There
Perfect.
we go.
I have no
Nailed
notes.
Nailed it.
No more notes.
Okay, so for real, today in my segment, we're going to be speaking about some sideline antics. This segment was originally inspired by an incident that took place in this most recent NFL season, and that we briefly spoke about earlier on this show. And that was when the Eagles wide receiver, A.J. Brown, was seen on the sideline reading the book. Do you remember this? Inner Excellence?
Yeah, he was reading a self-help book on the sidelines.
Train Your Mind for Extraordinary Performance in the Best Possible Life by Jim Murphy. Okay, like... But I also saw later in, like, the sidebar, we never spoke about this, is that in the post-game interview, he was like, yeah, I bring a book to every game. That's just kind of like the first time anyone's noticed it. That's either psychotic or bullshit. One of the two.
Nah, it's gotta be bullshit. There's no way no one's seen that before. Like, there are people who literally just sit there to watch these players.
Maybe people read maybe he brings the book in the locker room is what he meant, but like...
Maybe, but no, he definitely doesn't bring it out on the field every day.
Like, we would have noticed that already. Yeah. Yes. Regardless, this, odd appearance got me thinking about some other shenanigans that may have taken place on the sidelines of NFL games. After a quick Google search, I was not disappointed.
I was going to say, it was definitely only needed to be a quick Google search to find a bunch of bullshit that happens on the NFL sidelines.
Honestly, I saw a lot, and a lot of it was funny, but I brought out the two that I thought were the most entertaining. Yeah. One is good, the other is golden. So let's start with the good one. In 2009, Mark Sanchez was the quarterback of the Jets. And one day, they found themselves in a game against the Raiders.
One sec. How are you going to mention Mark Sanchez and not bring up the butt fumble?
Well, I mean, that isn't what this is about.
Yeah, I know, but it's Mark Sanchez.
I suppose you're right.
You gotta mention, Mark Sanchez literally ran into a guy's butt and fumbled the ball.
That is a fact, yes. But moving on, because this has nothing to do with the butt fumble. We're talking about the sidelines right now. Did that happen on the fucking sidelines?
No.
Do you remember that being on the sidelines?
But if you're known for doing something like that, it should be mentioned every single time you are mentioned.
You think he's just the butt fumble guy?
100%. If I meet him, that's what I'm calling him.
Well, do you think he'd also be the guy that when he's playing a shit team, the Raiders in this particular season, also eats a hot dog on the sidelines?
That's great.
Unbelievable stuff. He is literally caught at some point eating a hot dog. I have a video for J. Cole to watch to describe to the viewer here.
Know that life is good when you're the quarterback of the New York Jets and you can eat a hot dog on the sideline.
During the last TV timeout, Mark Sanchez is trying his best to hide a hot dog and eat it. Oh, wow. 1 week it's Antonio Pierce saying playing the Raiders was like a scrimmage, and now the other team's quarterback eats a hot dog during the game.
So I think that's a pretty cute and charming video, to be honest.
That's hilarious.
But you know what? It's kind of funny, on Sanchez. That's a pretty funny moment, obviously. But you know what it really is? It's a devastating moment for the Raiders. 1 week, as you guys heard the announcers say, they got called by their opponents saying it was like playing in a scrimmage, and the next week, the opposing quarterback is literally eating a hot dog on the sideline mid-game, and he's hiding it. He knows that this isn't a thing he should be doing.
No, yeah. Hilarious.
That's pretty sad. The amount of disrespect put towards the Raiders' name in that 2 week span, they're never recovering from that.
No.
Never. So that was all cute and fun. But let me tell you about the greatest sideline story of all time. This is the tale of how Larry Izzo, currently the Washington Commanders special teams coordinator and formerly the New York Jets linebacker, won his game ball. It's not often that a linebacker wins a game ball, but I can promise you the reason he won is far, far less common than that. J. Cole, in your wildest dreams, can you guess how Izzo won this ball?
He hit a lot of people. I don't know.
No. I want you to dream bigger. And this time, remember the ball was given to him by the perpetually serious, always monotone Bill Belichick. Why did Bill Belichick give him this game ball?
I don't know. I can't think of a reason. That would be not football related, because Bill Belichick was a pretty serious guy.
Yes, and he was, and he gave it for a very serious moment. So there's no actual evidence to back up this is the real reason he got his game ball, but we do have the words of Izzo's former teammate, Wes Welker, to act as proof. Here is Wes Welker on ESPN telling the story about how Izzo won his game ball.
Can you confirm a story, please, that Zach Thomas has told me? I'm hoping that it's true. I need confirmation, though the Patriots are very private.
This is probably a lie. Go ahead.
That Larry Izzo, that he went number 2, that's how Zach Thomas said, on the sidelines of a Patriots game, the special teams guy, and that Bill Belichick, because he was able to do this discreetly and without anybody seeing it, that Bill Belichick awarded him a game ball for this.
This is 100% true. Yeah, I mean, and Larry would be so mad at me if I said that this didn't happen, because he takes ultimate pride in this whole deal. I mean, with all the special teams tackles and Pro Bowls he's made and everything else, the thing that sits, I guarantee you that game ball is probably a more prized item for him than his Super Bowl rings.
But how did he do that? How are you
Because
able to...
he's Izzo. It's what he does.
That's what he does, bro.
He just takes a fucking dump right on the sideline during a crowded NFL game to win his one and only game ball.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you do it sneaky enough, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I was not lying to you when I said that this is the greatest sideline story of all time.
Ever.
Like,
what the hell?
And, like, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, there's no technical evidence, but that's the reason he won the game ball.
Yeah.
Because there was no evidence. It was so discreet. And, like, you have to understand, apparently the mentality behind this was he was like, I cannot go take a dump right now, because if I miss a play and we fuck up because of it, that's on me. And that's why Bill Belichick gave him the ball, because Bill was like, I respect that mentality.
Wow, good on him.
Or,
Good on him.
alternatively, you get caught shitting. It's like a sexual harassment charge, like with like minors in the arena. Like, what happens to you? I have no idea.
No, you wouldn't.
I hope not, but like, I mean, it's pretty inappropriate.
What did he like? Was it just like on the side? Like, was he in a tent or? Like...
I have given you all the details we have.
Damn, that's crazy. Good on him.
Yeah, I mean,
for managing to do that, good on him.
That is that number 2 was the number 1 accomplishment of his life. Thank you for listening to this week's episode.
If you enjoyed, please consider telling a friend or leaving a 5-star review. It really helps to grow the podcast.
You can also reach us by email at fbconspiracies@gmail.com.
A special thanks to Blaze for the music.
Join us next time for more football conspiracies.
With the 114th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Trevor Etienne, running back, Georgia.